It's certainly the case right now that the demand for machine learning expertise is so high that it's really hard to get the attention of the computer scientists. So we'll have to figure out how we develop people who can act as that bridge between the two, because I agree with 100%. If we don't build that bridge, it's going to be really hard to make the kind of insights that we need to, and the kind of policies we'll need to develop.
Of course, one way we do that is with our own graduates.
Sure.
Who hopefully take that knowledge and go into the policy side as well.
So my name is Freedom, and I'm with Moonshots in Education with Esther Wojcicki. And what says the biggest lesson she had ever had was that of loss, and that sorrow gave you a particular insight in exercising leadership effectively. And as a K-12 teacher, we have experienced a tremendous amount of kids committing suicide. And with Moonshots in education, White talks about maybe we should look at a trick where schools create a situation where there's trust, respect, independence, collaboration, and kindness. And looking at Stanford, it was born out of sorrow. What needs to happen to exercise leadership effectively for our K-12 students, because teachers are lost?
Yeah, so I think if we ever want to get greater equality of opportunity in this country, the first thing we have to solve is the inequalities that exist in our K-12 system. And I strongly believe that it's a core value of this country. We owe every single child a great beginning, a great education. And I don't care where their parents live, what language they speak, where they come from. We owe it to every single child. And we don't deliver, unfortunately, we don't deliver on that. We've tilted, if you look at the long-term perspective of where we spend our tax dollars, we've shifted tax dollars from people under 18 to people over 65. And of course, one reason for that is the people under 18 don't vote and the people over 65 do, right? So we need to ask ourselves as a country, is that the best investment for the future? It's not so clear to me. I think we should be thinking differently about how we make those investments over time. And if we invested in great teachers, invested in great schools for kids, I believe it would pay out rewards over many, many decades.
Were you asking, though, about how you teach trust and respect to kids?
Well, that is White's framework, but
yeah.
I think that there are a lot of deaths. I think we've buried way too many children, and something needs to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are absolutely things that can be taught to people of any age about trust and respect, as unfortunately that's a localized problem.
Right. Back the conversation to empathy, maybe appropriately for young students when you're looking at education, but also as you're looking to educate leaders and society at large. What's something that you would recommend we do or we teach that's a practical way to develop empathy as we go about our daily lives?
I think trying to put yourself in somebody else's shoes and face the challenges they face. I remember at one point going over to visit our charter school, and I met a young man who talked about part of his daily ritual was to take he was on free subsidized lunch, was to take his lunch milk and put it away and bring it home so that he knew his sister would get milk that day. Boy, you think in our country, And then you realize that immediately the challenges that exist even in our country. And certainly you could see the same thing globally and realize that and have that. But I think it's those personal experiences that really help us appreciate not only the good luck we had that we were born and, you know, both my parents went to college and I was born in a middle-class household. That made an enormous difference. I didn't earn that. That was purely luck.